Hello everyone. The new part of the recap, so like and write a comment. Enjoy your viewing. I cut him in half. It's like he's just a piece of butter. And then turning to the remaining bulls, he said. Come on. Who's next? The bulls were clearly not ready to confront me. Looking at their boss, who was defeated so easily, they hesitated. Die. I shouted frighteningly. And the bulls were seized with fear. Mew. They roared in fear, running away. Then my axe fell out of my hands. System notification. Attention. Warning. You're dying. Leaning on my axe, I was breathing heavily. It seemed that there was almost no strength left. Ka. Suddenly I coughed up blood. It was a bad signal. So the system wasn't lying. Consciousness was leaving me. The shouts of subordinates could be heard in the distance. The king. The king. But I barely understood what was going on. Coughing, I realized that my eyelids were closing. Warning. Warning. After a moment, I was already lying on the ground. Looking at the battlefield, I noticed her. Dada. With the last of my strength, I groaned. Get it. Medicine. After that, my eyelids finally dropped and darkness came into my mind. I lost consciousness. When I woke up, I saw a thatched roof and a woman's chest. What? Finally opening my eyes, I saw her. The king? Are you awake? Ew? I was lying on her lap. Obviously she spent a lot of time with me. This? A pigsty? Of course not, king. After you drove away the herd of bulls, we moved to this new land. And we built this hut for you. Lie down for now, I'll tell the others. Wait. I said, heaving myself up. Do you want to give me an order? Dada and Liu Tang. How are they? I asked hopefully. Sighing, the girl began to speak. When we found Liu Tang, he was barely breathing. However, he recovered quickly, and after he woke up all this time, he was standing outside guarding you. Dada is more injured, we had your magic medicine, so now she needs to rest and she will recover, the others are fine for now. Huh, I'm glad that everyone is fine. In 4 days, everything returned to normal. Ayu answered me smiling. 4 days? I was so surprised that I grabbed her hands. And? Yes. She answered confusedly. I hurriedly opened the quest menu. Settle down. A task. Help primitive people build homes, create a tribe and increase the number of people to 50. Term. 11 days. Hell, there's no time to recover. We can't waste a second, I thought. Ayu looked at me thoughtfully. It was in her eyes. Why is the king constantly looking at one point? I tried to get up. But suddenly a spark of pain ran through my whole body. Clicking my tongue, I added. Damn, it hurts. The king. Excited, the girl threw me. You need to rest well. You can't get up now. Now is not the time to rest. Call Shiga urgently. Just tell him I'm awake. Don't say anything else. I'll explain everything to you later. Good king. With that, she left. And I stayed with my thoughts. Now I have neither the fighting power nor the restraining force. And if it becomes known to everyone, then this task will not be so easy to complete. After opening the map, I continued thinking. Fortunately, after we drove away the herd of bulls, the tribe immediately moved. Looking at the terrain plan, I began to divide the territories into zones. Here you need to build a fence as soon as possible, then convert it into a wooden wall. Here you can place plots for planting and raising livestock. The king. Shigu has arrived. Let him open it from the outside. The king. This is Shigu. I'm glad you're all right. Shigu. I have an errand for you. Yes. Come closer and remember everything I say. Coming close to the tent, Shigu put his ear in its wall and then listened to my orders. Good king. Don't worry. I'll do everything. With these words, he ran away. No, that's not enough. This time I can't make a mistake like when hunting bulls. We need to clear the area. With these thoughts, I shouted out. Liu Tang. There's a task for you too. Yes. Go to the corpse of the bull king and bring his skull and skin, make sure you took everything. And? He looked surprised. And then his face changed first to horror and then to bliss. This? It's the king's divine weapon. After putting my axe out of the tent, I handed it to Liu Tang. It is obvious that with stone axes he will not be able to properly remove the skin. I will complete this task. He solemnly declared, brandishing an axe. Your Majesty, you'd better rest now. Ayu stated worriedly. No. I snapped. I just have a task for you. There's no one outside right now, you can come in. Yes. She said and entered the tent. I sent everyone away to give you an important secret assignment. I said solemnly and calmly. Then she immediately took off all her clothes and declared, "Your Majesty, I have been ready for a long time." What? What the hell are you undressing for? You've got it all wrong. After Ayu got dressed, she sat quietly on her knees in front of me. "So, basically, I need you to help me put on a show." "Play a show?" she asked in surprise. "I plan to send someone to negotiate with the Coconut Grove tribe. The goal is to convince them to join us. This is my order. But they have a lot more people, so they won't agree, right?" she asked, looking at me thoughtfully. "Exactly. Therefore, we must show them strength. Let them think that only agreeing to join is the right choice. I chose you for 2 reasons. Firstly, they are a matriarchal tribe. It will be easier for you women to communicate. Secondly," I raised a shaking, wounded hand. "Only you know about my current state. That explosion caused me severe damage. Although the medicine stopped the deterioration. But to heal to the end, you need something better." "Yeah." She nodded. "So I have to look intimidating to intimidate the Coconut Grove tribe?" After a moment's thought, she stared at me. "I know what needs to be done, entrust this matter to me." The next day, Ayu and Xiong went to the Coconut Grove. "We will be at Ayu's place soon. Although the Coconut Grove tribe doesn't like wars, I still think they shouldn't be provoked." Worried, Xiong glanced at Aya. She was wearing a tiara made of bull horns, as well as a brand new bullskin cloak. Good, good," she answered calmly. "Be calm and lead us, leave the rest to me." And the king is really biased. Created such beautiful clothes for you." After a while, they were already sitting in the bushes and watching. "So, it's there, look," Xiong said. A beautiful picture opened before their eyes. A small waterfall descended from the mountain, and several girls were swimming in the resulting lake. Ayu glanced at Xiong. "You're well acquainted with this place." "Ha ha ha. Look there. This is the one we were looking for. The queen of the Coconut Grove." A girl of incredible beauty stood at a distance from everyone. Her long ears and green hair crushed men's hearts. "Awesome. Yes, she's a beauty. Appearances are deceptive," Xiong replied. "They satiate several of her suitors." "Did you eat it?" "Not happening." "It's true." Meanwhile, we didn't even feel the followers of the grove sneaking up from behind. Pointing sticks at us, they shouted. "Hey!" Naturally we were caught. After a while we were sitting on our knees in front of the queen of the Coconut Grove. "Your Majesty. We caught these spies. They shouted that they wanted to meet you." The magnificent but still naked queen sat before us on a stone throne. In her hands was a whip with spikes. "We are ambassadors," Xiong shouted. "These titles were bestowed upon us by the king." "What?" the queen asked in surprise. "There is no such thing in you. Leave the woman as a slave and feed the man to the fish. From the piece of meat that they brought, make dinner." "What?" Xiong shouted. "Ayu. Save me." Suddenly, Ayu plucked up the courage and spoke. "I thought the Coconut Grove tribe queen was quite perceptive. Now I see that this is not the case. I was planning to give you the meat of a mountain bull." Suddenly the queen waved her whip. "Wait. Let him talk." Grinning, she continued. "You say you have mountain bull meat?" "Yes, exactly." Ayu replied with the same grin. "A herd of black bulls lives in the north of the river." Clicking her tongue, the queen thought she had figured out the plan. "So you want to attack the herd by joining forces?" A satisfied grin did not leave Ayu's lips. "Unite to attack them? Then how can you call it a gift? Don't underestimate people. That herd of bulls is not our enemy. The lands in the vicinity of the river have already changed hands." The crowd gathered to look at the spies suddenly whispered. "Impossible. Did they scare off the bulls? We were almost trampled then." Suddenly, the queen rose from her throne. Putting her whip to Ai's neck, she said. "Do you know what awaits those who lie to me?" Without a drop of fear, Ayu continued. "The biggest tank was slaughtered by our king. If you don't believe me, come back with us and take a look." Suddenly the girl who was standing not far from the queen said. "Don't believe it. It must be a trap." "A trap?" Ayu suddenly asked. "Keep in mind. Our merciful king can defeat your entire tribe." Suddenly, Xiong, who was almost thrown into the water, shouted. That's right. Not only do we not want to fight with you, but we also want to give you a gift. Our thoughts are sincere, what other doubts can there be?" "Of course." Ayu added sharply. "If the queen is afraid to go by herself, she can send people to pick up the meat." Suddenly, waving the whip, the still naked queen said. "You'd better not cheat with me." A couple of hours later, the queen was already walking in our company. Ahead. Xiong pointed the stick in the direction and then waved his hand. We're back. By the way, the queen still got dressed. Her outfit was mostly made of leaves and her head was decorated with an improvised wreath. Don't shout. Shigu answered loudly. Go help build a house. The king is waiting on the other side of the river. Yeah. Xiong nodded. Suddenly, the girl who was always next to the queen whispered in her ear. Your Majesty, what does it mean to build a house? Judging by the look in the queen's eyes, she herself did not guess. Ayu escorted them on. We came. King. They have arrived. She solemnly declared. A massive tent decorated with bull boss horns and many other attributes appeared to their gaze. It looked intimidating. And the queen felt something. A strong murderous aura emanates from this hut. This guy. He looks like a huge beast. And really, they did a good job on my costume. A crown of horns, various armor attributes, and a hide added to my murderous aura. And also a throne made of bull bones. What could be better? Thank you. I said it as rudely as I could. Suddenly, an exclamation was heard from a tent nearby. Fortunately, they didn't suspect anything. The wounded were sitting in the tent. The king ordered all the wounded to hide here so that we would not be seen. Can you be more careful? I'm just curious what the queen of the coconut grove looks like. Cough cough. Clearing my throat, I drew attention to myself. So you're from the coconut grove tribe? But the girl who was near the queen interrupted me. Where is the bull meat you were talking about? I calmly pointed with my hand. Behind the tent. You can take as much as you want and as much as you can carry. Shifting their gaze, they finally noticed the corpses of bulls lying there. Not far from them were just two of my guys, and they were butchering meat with stone axes. The girls headed towards them. Seeing them, one of the guys said. These belong to you, so take them yourself. But after trying to cut off the meat with their bone knives, the girls failed. The knife broke on the tight skin of the bulls. Looking at this, the guys couldn't help laughing. What are you laughing at? The queen's assistant asked angrily. You must be lucky to get right in the middle of a bullfight that has arisen, and that's it. What an insult. Do you want to fight, girl? He said, whipping out his axe. But suddenly, with incredible speed and a blue trail, something flew out of the tent. Having cut a piece of meat between the quarreling, my axe plunged into the ground. What? Which one? The queen was in shock. What kind of weapon is this? Our bone knives are no match for him. Use my axe and help them divide the meat. I commanded. The king. They provoked us first. Why on earth should we? But I looked at this poor guy with anger. And then he said. Shut up. Follow my orders. Clicking his tongue, he still agreed and began to carve the meat. Okay. I've given you permission to take as much meat as you can carry. Said done. These are my principles. The queen said in surprise. Barbarians and noble. How did you overcome a herd of bulls? My answer depends on further development. Whether it's mutual understanding or personal experience. That's it for today, Queen of the Coconut Grove. Take the beef and leave. The queen snorted resentfully. An indifferent pig. Meanwhile, my thoughts were filled with another problem. I'm overdressed. If it wasn't for the bullskin bandage, the wound would have started to bleed. Damn. Blood flowed. Fortunately, the queen is distracted by a conversation with Ayu. That's right, we'll give you some of our stone axes. Although they are no match for the king's divine axe, they are suitable for butchering meat. But the queen only snorted. No need. It doesn't look elegant enough for us. We also have powerful weapons, but we don't put them on display. I hope I won't have to use it on you, all the best. Take what belongs to us, she told the girls, we're coming back. Good. Ayu added. If this is not enough, you can come again, but the sooner the better. After all, we will share it with other tribes. Come again. She threw it after them. After moving some distance from the camp, the queen stopped. Have you checked everything? She asked. Suddenly, more girls jumped from the trees. Reporting, said one of them. We found out from the buildings, the so-called houses. Perhaps there were piglets inside, we accidentally heard grunting. Pigs? The queen was surprised. Did they build such a nice pig house? Moreover. The scout continued. They also mastered the divine power of fire. It can't be. Even more surprised, the assistant said angrily. We saw with our own eyes how they got a fire out of nowhere and fried beef on it. What? The queen was clearly surprised. Only. The speaker was quiet for a moment. Just what? Don't hesitate to tell me already. Only there are only 10 of them. The others are several children and one old man. I doubt they deliberately hid the rest of the tribe. Why didn't you make a thorough search? Because trees were cut down in the area. We couldn't hide in the open. So we watched hiding in the woods. The queen snorted with displeasure. After walking a little, she took out her whip and hit the scout several times. If you dare to look for excuses again, you will not get off with simple lashes. Thank you, Your Majesty, for not expelling us. Meanwhile, in my settlement. Who? I sighed heavily. The king? How are your wounds? Au asked. Ah, that's better. This bovine skin has a high regeneration, for sure it can gradually heal my wounds. It's very good. She said, smiling. Looking at Aya, I noticed a notification icon. Talent activated. Eloquence. Eloquence means a rare talent. Looking at me, she was embarrassed. Oh, compared to the Coconut Grove Queen, the king loves me more, right? It's not like that. I shouted in embarrassment. Phew. Even the walls have ears. Tell those who were hiding to come out and then come back and help me heal my wounds. There were traces of blood on the throne. Please clean up before Liu Tang comes and don't let anyone get close. Good. Au answered meekly. The king. You're so handsome. She said, playfully sticking out her tongue. I turned away in embarrassment and cleared my throat. That's all for now. Meanwhile, Xiang came running. The king. The king. You are so amazing. They really put people around the camp. What about my errand? Of course I did everything. What they should have seen, they saw. What they shouldn't have, they didn't see. Phew. I sighed calmly. Very good. You did a great job today. Thanks. Xiao responded. Then I went to help Shig with the construction of houses. King. Au turned to me. Will the Coconut Grove tribe really want to join us? It's too early to draw conclusions now. The plan is only half completed so far. The next time they come to us, we can proceed with the second part of the plan. I said with a chuckle.